From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. The second regular session of the 29th Alaska Legislature will convene in the Senate at 11 a.m. Tuesday, with the state budget expected to be the main focus.
The road to a solution could be rocky, with differing ideas for how to help close the hole and difficult choices that could significantly impact the state's services. Some Republican legislative leaders want far deeper cuts than the governor has proposed. Some lawmakers want to pursue cost saving in areas like Medicaid and the state correctional system. Senator John Cockhill of North Pole was busy setting things up at his Juneau office today to be ready for tomorrow's official start of work.
One of the things you want to make sure is the reports that have to go in. The order of business is set up. The committees are getting their notifications out. Tomorrow, the bills will be read across. They'll get assigned, and then the topics of discussion kind of gets more solidified. The budget is going to be the big deal. So the middle of this next week, we'll have our first budget overview from the governor, and that will kind of set the stage for the budget discussion as we begin moving from here.
The Fairbanks Board of Education will decide whether or not to continue exploring the feasibility of transitioning multiple elementary schools to a kindergarten through 8th grade model. In November last year, the Fairbanks School Board expressed support for the district administration to continue research and planning for a change from the current elementary school model. The board will see the model in the agenda for its regular meeting, which begins at 7 p.m. tomorrow at the School District Administration Center. The K-8 model also includes changes in kindergarten classroom hours from partial to full day. In related news, State Board of Education Vice Chair Sue Hull, who is also a member of the Fairbanks School Board, outlined a strategic plan that focuses on updating school systems despite the current fiscal situation. Hull says the State School Board wants to foster cooperation among school districts in Alaska, improve school administration and teaching by updating to modern technologies, and also focusing on retaining teachers and principals. Hull adds that the strategic plan is realistic, but only thanks to a change to federal law.
I think it's possible because the new law that was passed at the federal level, it's called the Every Student Succeeds Act, and it allows more local and state flexibility. So in light of the issues that were raised last fall, I think we have more leeway to be able to respond to both family and district needs. So I think there could be significant change this spring.
A pair of marijuana-related ordinances will be introduced before the North Pole City Council Tuesday night. Mayor Bryce Ward has sponsored a measure that would levy a 6% excise tax on the wholesale distribution of marijuana products brought into the city limits. His ordinance also levies a 6% tax on all retail marijuana transactions made within the city. Councilman Thomas McGee is co-sponsoring with the mayor an ordinance to establish commercial marijuana regulations for North Pole. Under the measure, the council would be able to protest the issuance, renewal, transfer, relocation, or continued operation of a marijuana license. The measure puts in place an annual permitting fee scheduled of $1,000 for a retail vendor and $500 annual fees for cultivation, manufacturing, and testing facilities. Violations come with a fine up to $1,500 per violation. The goal of the two ordinances is to raise city revenue, which McGee says follows the spirit of marijuana initiative passed by Alaska voters in 2014.
I don't want us to be behind the curve, only ahead of the curve. And if that's a commerce that's going to make money, and yes, that particular type of commerce will make money. It will bring in coffers for not only retailers, but growers and inspectors. And there's absolutely no reason why it shouldn't be added to the North Pole's retail tax platform. It's going to create new things that we have to look out for. It's going to spend more time of our police and law enforcement for just patrolling and making sure that everybody's obeying and doing what is legal. And so it's going to cost us to allow this to take place. We're going to recoup some of that cost.
When we come back, lawyers were giving advice today and charging nothing. They were a part of an event that helps to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Also, there's a new organization in town that's helping mothers become successful business owners. We'll tell you all about it. These stories and more when we return. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Just before 6 this morning, state troopers in Fairbanks received a report of a walkaway from the North Star Center on the Parks Highway near Esther. Investigators say it appears that 26-year-old Barry Presley of Fairbanks left the minimum security facility at about 9:48 last night. According to court records, he was there for violating conditions of release on a previous charge. He was last seen wearing blue jeans, a black jacket, and black and white sneakers. Anyone with information about his whereabouts is asked to call troopers at 451-5100.
Today, the J.P. Jones Community Development Center celebrated Martin Luther King Jr. Day by opening their doors to the public with free legal advice. Lawyers, along with students from law classes, answered questions and gave advice to a number of individuals seeking help with subjects ranging from Medicare and child custody to divorces and Social Security. The project has been going on for years now and has never had problems recruiting volunteers to assist the needy with their legal issues.
Well, we have attorneys volunteer their time in the local community. We have paralegal students from my program. We have a graduate from my program. We have representatives from the Alaska court system here to help. If they have maybe a one-time issue with a landlord-tenant problem, we could help them with that. If they're having a more involved issue with child support or custody, we can direct them to the services through the courthouse where they can get more help.
Momtrepreneurs is a new network group in Fairbanks that gives women business owners the opportunity to share stories, make connections, and foster support. It is mainly made up of mothers who own their own businesses. However, all women are invited. Crystal Ardawan, the creator of the group, has a studio at the Co-op Plaza where the organization meets. The meetings are family-friendly and much of the information will be available on their Facebook online forum. Momtrepreneurs is looking to do more as they create business connections. They want to add a support system for women entrepreneurs while they take on the day-to-day task of raising children.
We all have the same difficulties in running a house, running a business, trying to keep it all balanced. So it's kind of a good place. The Momtrepreneurs group is a good place for us to rub elbows and swap stories and collaborate and try and, see what we can do to boost each other's business, to help each other, to work together and support each other.
It's been nice to have a business where it helps me get my creative energy out, and then I'm also able to have an identity outside of just being a mom. And while I wouldn't change being a mom at all, it's been really nice to have a group that is an outlet that I can meet with other people with the same kind of interests who are going through the same thing, so they have the same dishes and laundry and diapers, but we also have our businesses to bond us together.
Joe Cook is up next with the weekend recap in local sports. We'll see what happened in a hardwood showdown between UAF and UAA.
Also, the Ice Dogs sweep their weekend opponents. Stay tuned for sports with Joe after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. Joe Cook here with the weekend recap in local sports. UAF hockey continues to stay in postseason position as they pick up WCHA points in their fourth straight series. The Nanooks got 2 points with a 3-2 overtime win on Friday night, their third win ever in Marquette, Michigan, but Northern Michigan Wildcats bounced back, winning 5-3 on Saturday. Alaska was up 2-1 after the first period, and they led 3-2 in the third after a Justin Woods goal less than a minute into the final period. The Wildcats responded with 3 unanswered goals to come away with the victory. Alec Hadukovic and Tyler Morley led the Nooks with a goal and a helper each. Alaska heads into the bye week 7-13-4 overall and 5-11-4 in the WCHA, tied for 8th with UAA. Overtime games haven't been kind to the UAF men's basketball team. Their latest second overtime loss of the season was unfortunately to their rivals. Saturday night at the Patty Center in front of almost 1,000 fans, UAF and UAA met for a 1-versus-2 GNAC showdown. Brandon Davis had 21 points to lead UAF, but with 36 seconds left, Sekou Wiggs hits a 3 to make it a 74-73 game in favor of UAF. He had a game-high 30 points and 11 rebounds, 25 in the second half. Javante Williams, he hit 2 of his 18 points at the free throw line, but Spencer Shavar hit a contested 3 with 2 seconds left to force overtime at 76-all. He had a career-high 22 points. It was all UAA in OT as they went on a 10-0 run to seal it. Seawolves win 100-91 at 12-4 overall and 6-2 in the GNAC. Alaska Alaska drops from 2nd to 3rd place.
I got to give that one to my teammates. My teammates do a good job. They do a great job of finding me and relying on me, and I rely on them just as much. So they just told me to keep my head in it and just finish, and that's what we did. I got to give it up to the crowd that came out that supported Alaska very much, and it's just a great environment here. So some of the best fun I've had in a while.
The women's basketball team also lost. They trailed from tip-off to the final horn in a 57-83 decision to Central Washington on the road on Saturday. The Wildcats shot a warm 57%, while the Nanics shot 35%. Kaylee Joe led Alaska with a game-high 20 points. That's her 4th 20-point game of her career. UF is now 7-11 overall and 2-6 in GNAC play. This week, they host St. Martin's on Thursday and SPU on Saturday. By the end of Saturday night's game, the Fairbanks Ice Dogs gave Springfield the blues. Friday night was a close 3-2 victory for Fairbanks. Saturday was anything but. The Ice Dogs led from wire to wire in a resounding 7-0 victory. They scored at least 2 goals in each period. Reggie Lutz got his first hat trick as an Ice Dog, and he was named Midwest Star of the Week today for a 5-point weekend. Gavin Nieto, he finished with 38 saves for his 5th shutout of the year. His record is now 24-1. Tyler Tomlin, he led all skaters with a goal and 4 assists for a 5-point night. Clay Cross, in his return from injury, added 3 assists. With the sweep of the Springfield Junior Blues, Fairbanks improves to 28-5-3. They lead the Midwest Division by 8 points, and they trail Wichita by 2 for the top spot in the NA. This weekend, they host the defending Robertson Cup champion Minnesota Wilderness, who are 2nd in the Midwest Division. In Saturday high school hockey games, North Pole and Delta Junction won their matchups. The Delta Junction Huskies swept a weekend series over the Tri-Valley Warriors. After winning 11-0 on Friday, they rolled to an 8-2 victory on Saturday. The Patriots ended their 2-game skid by defeating the Hutchinson Hawks 3-1. Darren Donovan and Dylan Latham both had a goal and assist for the Patriots in the win. Brandon Rustad scored in the 3rd period for Hutchinson. And after a loaded week of sports, here's another edition of the I-5 Interior Top 5 Plays.
Coming in at number 5, Abigail Steffen with the sweeping scoop shot for Lathrop, 2 of her 11 points as the Malamutes beat West Valley 60-46 in the Joe T. Classic finale on Saturday. Number 4, Chavante Williams of UAF gets the block and then completes the play with a layup on the other end in a 100-91 overtime loss to rival UAA on Saturday. Number 3, 3 timely goals for Mike Coyley. The Monroe Junior defenseman helps keep the Rams undefeated in a 4-2 win at North Pole on Tuesday with his 3 scores. Number 2, more goal scoring. Reggie Lutz records his first hat trick as an Ice Dog in Saturday's 7-0 blowout win of the Springfield Junior Blues. He finished with 4 points and is the Midwest Star of the Week. And at number 1, the Duke. Alec Hadukovic scores the game-winning overtime goal on Friday night to send the Nanics to a 3-2 win at Northern Michigan. Nolan Heisman's with the assist. His goal gives UAF their 3rd win ever in Marquette, Michigan. To vote for the Play of the Week, click on your favorite play on the I-5 poll on webcenter11.com. You can also comment on the KTVF Facebook and YouTube post and at KTVF11 Sports on Twitter for your vote. The Play of the Week will be revealed this Friday.
The I-5 Sports Report is brought to you by Adient Orthopedic Physical Therapy.
And we'll have a full recap of the Joe T. Classic in another Nanic Corner tomorrow. But that's it for sports tonight. Thanks for watching. Mike Schultz is back, and he has the weather forecast coming up after the break. And as always, we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back in. Mike Schultz with you once again. We're talking about weather, and coming up on our weather tonight, well, first of all, we're going to be talking about cold temperatures that are going to continue, it looks like, through the rest of the week. Also, we have a little bit of snow in the forecast. We'll be talking about that later on. And maybe some breezy conditions in the higher elevations. Now, as far as our numbers out at the airport right now, here's what it looks like. 4 degrees. Our high today was 5. The low last night, 16 below the record high, 52 in 2009. The record low, 58 below in 1934. And our sunrise and sunset working out to 5 hours and 13 minutes of daylight. That is a gain of 6 minutes from yesterday. On the satellite radar, one little area of low pressure moving across the southern sections of the state, helping to bring some rain and snow shower activity across the southern half. Also, a new system moving up across the southern and southeastern sections of the state. And this frontal boundary moving our direction may bring us a little bit of light snow later on tonight and tomorrow, but no real accumulation, maybe an inch, maybe 2 inches at the most, but that's about it. As far as what's going on across the rest of the state, you can see over southeast Alaska, temperatures right around freezing to below freezing. At Juneau, a little wet, cold rain there. And Ketchikan also raining, but 45 degrees there. Around the Anchorage Bowl, 28 cloudy skies. Showers around the Kodiak region. Cold Bay at 32, Bethel 8 degrees, 16 at Nome, so the cold air is trapped on the western side of the state. 11 below at Barrow, and Fort Yukon 2 degrees below zero. Lower 48 weather, well, a big massive storm is expected to move on shore in the Pacific Northwest, bringing more rain and a lot of snow to the higher elevations. Rain and moving on as far down as south of the Southern California area, while out to the east, the cold temperatures continue there, and that's going to be setting the stage for what could be a real big winter storm later on this week. But over the west coast, here's the showers and rain moving on down as far south as close to the Los Angeles area. And the jet stream is going to be a big player in this storm system. As you can see, it's going to be taking a big dive way down to the south. What that'll do is pull a lot of Gulf moisture in from the Gulf of Mexico, mix it with the cold air coming in from Canada, and that's the ingredients you need for a winter storm, and that's what they're expecting. Okay, time once again for our kids' weather in the new school this week. We're going to be talking with the kids from Tukasuk Brown Elementary School. Here's a young lady with a fun story.
Once when I was in first grade, my sister Ashlyn was in second grade. We were walking home from school. It was winter, but it was starting to melt. It was also raining, and when we were walking, there was like a lot of water everywhere. And then when we was walking to our house, to our old house, there was like ginormous deep puddles everywhere.
I love that ginormous puddle. And again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. And tomorrow night, we'll have a young man here with a picture that he drew of a very stormy situation he was in. That'll be pretty interesting. And as far as our forecast for the state tomorrow for the northern sections, flurries expected in Barrow, partly cloudy skies at Nome, 1 to 2 inches of snow expected in the Fort Yukon area. Now here in the interior, we're looking at scattered areas of snow for Fairbanks and Healy, a chance of snow in the Delta Junction region. Over southeast Alaska, it looks like it's going to be a wet pattern once again. Scattered showers for Juneau, areas of light rain at Ketchikan, while over to the southwest part of the state, looking at mixed showers in Cold Bay, rain for Kodiak, and partly cloudy skies at Bethel. 40 degrees at Kodiak tomorrow. And in the Anchorage Bowl, if you're heading on down that direction, snow showers expected in Anchorage and Homer with partly cloudy skies for Valdez. In our forecast for the remainder of the night, well, the clouds are going to be increasing throughout the night with light snow developing after midnight, 9 degrees below zero. Tomorrow's forecast calling for periods of light snow, maybe an inch or two at the highest amount, 7 degrees for the high. The extended forecast looking at Wednesday right on through Sunday, temperatures will once again be cool, warming up a little bit toward the end of the period. Overnight lows will also be continuing quite cool, 6 to 15 degrees below zero. And our photograph for tonight, well, this photograph is a nice one. This was sent in by Christine Lutch. Denali in the distance. You can see it in the distance with the wind blowing the snow off of the mountain there. And as always, if you have a photograph you want to share, send it to photos@ktvf11.com.
Oh, that was like a post. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful
the color's
shot
really
there.
great.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Mike, this is the first chance that all four of us have been here together on the desk since Sarah took over anchoring, so that's pretty good. So
I've heard nothing but good things too.
Oh
yeah.
Well, that's better than hearing bad things.
Your mom just raves about you.
Absolutely, on Facebook I've seen that as well. Very good. But a wild weekend in sports too. That is crazy stuff.
Crazy week. The UF-UA game was wild, and you'll see more from the Joe T. That was a good tournament that they had at Lathrop as well. So yeah, it was a pretty busy week in sports, and probably another one coming up this week as well.
Playoff games are going to be exciting this weekend coming up.
Yeah, NFL was wild. Green Bay,
yeah, don't talk about the Packers. I'm
good to be back with you guys soon.
Very good. Very good. Well, thanks, Mike. That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Well, tonight on NBC Nightly News, a somber moment. A member of one of America's favorite legendary Hall of Fame groups passed away today at the age of 67. Lester Holt will have that up next.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a good night.
Good night.